Do over.
Yep. Take two.
3, 2.
Welcome to Curly Q&A. This is a Mondays with Melanie show. It's episode number 79, if you're counting. I'm Ken Nickels. I'm your host from Raw Hair Organics and Raw Curls
And
all
I'm
those
Melanie
other brands.
Nickels.
Yeah, this is Melanie Nickels. I'm your host, and she's the co-host. For those of you who haven't been with us before, Melanie is the founder of the Raw Curls brand of natural and organic curly and natural hair products sold in 31 countries worldwide. She is also the founder of the Raw Hair Organic Salon in Naples, Florida, which is one of the top curly salons in the country, along with her curl crew, her curl minions, her curl kids.
My curl kids.
Her curl kids.
And
they do curly hair all day, every day. And Melanie's background is she graduated from the Aveda Institute and was mentored by a British and U.S.National hairdressing champion, Mr. Malcolm Brown. And among other things, Melanie has extensive curl training in Diva, Weedad, Curlisto, and many other disciplines. She's been a curly hair educator at some of the largest industry hair shows in the world. And
part of that expert panel.
She's part of Michelle Breyers from naturallycurly.com. She's one of the top 50 curl influencers, natural hair influencers in the world. And she was chosen by Michelle to be on the distinguished curl expert panel at America's Beauty Show as one of the top curl experts in the world. Among other things, I'll try to make it as short as possible. Melanie is an American Board Certified Master Hair Colorist as well. She's one of 19 exam evaluators for that organization. In other words, she's one of the people you got to get through if you're a hairstylist and want to be a American Board Certified Master Hair Colorist. She's also an educator for the organization in the organic and natural realm. Melanie was also, in the past, a Broadway hairstylist on the hit Broadway show 42nd Street.
Oh, wait. 42nd.
42nd Street, yeah. And now currently is a behind-the-chair stylist specializing in curly hair and hair color at the Raw Hair Organic Salon. So she also has 2 college degrees, one in business management and one in accounting. So this is the Internet's only weekly curly Q&A show where you get to ask your questions direct and get them answered by curl experts, hair professionals, industry people, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
We are your professional curl counselors.
We are.
So this is your curly hair support group for curlaholics.
For curlaholics. So last week, if you're one of the people that was here last week, and saw show number 78, it was what we call an Ask Me Anything show, where you get to ask us basically anything you want. Nothing's pretty much nothing is off limits, and we didn't get to all of them. We had a lot of questions. We didn't get to all of them, so we're going to extend it a little bit. We're going to make an exception. We're going to answer some of these questions this week as well. So. Sound good?
Okay, sounds
good. Wonderful.
Let's get to it.
Yeah, if you're watching this on YouTube or one of the other platforms or listening to it on a podcast, we have a group of about 45,000 people on Facebook. It's called the Curly Girls Support Group for Curly, Wavy, and Naturally Healthy Hair. You can get lots of good, solid advice. Melanie's in that forum along with the girls, the curl experts at our salon, answering questions and posting a lot of pictures, a lot of before and afters and stuff like that. So if you're looking during the week, if you're looking for questions and help and guidance or just support or curl camaraderie, that's a good one. Curl camaraderie, you can find it there on Facebook. Feel free to join and
The Raw Curls
be
Girls.
part of that. The Raw Curls Girls, yeah.
I don't want to forget because I wanted to bring this up the last show. So, but since it wasn't Ask Me Anything, I guess I forgot.
Yeah.
This is an answer to a previous week's question. And so this is the power of having this Curly Girl support group, because it was something that I didn't even have an answer or advice to give. And turns out I brought this up. I don't even know how it came up with one of my clients, and she had an answer. I couldn't believe it. So this
Really?
is really cool. Yeah. So I was excited to share this with the group. The question was about going to sleep with your hair wet. And I said,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't recommend it. I can't see how that would be a good, thing. Not saying that it's wrong, but I just, personally, couldn't advise that because I just can't see how it would work. But, I know it wouldn't for me. But one of my clients said she's done that before and she actually had great curly hair in the morning. And so now I have advice to give. So what she does is she, does her hair in the shower like she normally would. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, she's using the Raw Curls products. And then she puts her styling products in. And how she doesn't mush her curls is she actually takes her hair. It's longer, so it's going to depend on your length. But she takes her hair and she lifts it all up and then puts her head on the pillow, like that. So her hair is actually lifted up and the pillow is laying underneath it. And she said she is a solid sleeper, so she doesn't roll around a lot.
Yeah.
So that's
It
going to be
wouldn't
key
work for me.
too.
If I had curly hair, it would not work for
It
me.
wouldn't work for me either.
No.
But she says she sleeps in one spot, she sleeps
Mm-hmm.
on her back, and she lifts her hair and the pillow's underneath, and then she wakes up, her hair is dry and it's actually fluffed. And I thought, how cool is that? So there you go.
If you're that kind of sleeper.
It can work, yeah,
If you're a
but
stomach sleeper, not going to
or
happen.
a side sleeper,
Side sleeper.
gonna be bad.
I'm a side in the back.
Yeah, I
I'm a
toss
side
and turn.
back.
I end up
Yeah.
all over the place.
Yeah. Got any fun fact? Is that advice or is that a fun
That's
fact?
advice. That's not a fun
That's
fact.
not
That's
a
just
fun
advice.
fact.
No, that was the answer to a question.
Do you have any fun facts? We do a fun fact. We try to do a fun fact at least every week. Have you got one? I don't have anything. I used up all my fun facts last week.
I know we had so many. Well, we were just telling a story that's kind of fun, and I don't know if we ever shared that the name of our very first dog. All of our dogs have been females, so because I have an M name, I name all the girls M names. So our very first dog was a little Yorkshire Terrier, and she was basically a 2-pound Yorkie, really, really sweet. You guys would love her. She was very girly. She always had ponytails and ribbons and bows in her hair and pearls around her neck. And she loved to dress up. She did fashion shows. And
Prissy.
she was very prissy. She loved it. She's got all kinds of clothes. She
She'd
had a
poop and run
tiara.
away from it. She hated poop. She didn't understand why it was coming out of her. It's disgusting.
Yep, she was really cute. But anyway, so her name was Maisie, and she was very special. But we were just sharing the story about when she got older, and one of my clients was babysitting while we were going to the hair show. In fact, yeah,
Is
because
that
we
where
were
we were going?
we were on our way to Orlando, and I got a phone call that she ran away, and I'm like, "What do you mean she ran away? She was old. She couldn't run anywhere,
Right.
But she actually."
At
At night took my dog out without a leash, and she must have got freaked out or scared. She was trying to find me for sure. She was mommy's girl. And for some reason, she took off. And the funny part about that is she was in a very,
exclusive neighborhood.
yeah, exclusive, high-end neighborhood.
Very exclusive.
And she ran to like the most, these like multi-million-dollar homes.
On the beach.
Yeah, on the beach of Naples. And there she was at somebody's front door. So we're like, what's up with that? Maybe she was looking for a new home,
Right. Could you blame her?
No. But we got her back.
Yeah, they actually took her to I don't know,
Emergency.
emergency vet or something.
Yeah, that was
Like
not a
one
good.
of the maids came to the door. Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, anyway, wasn't funny at the time. It's
No,
funny
I
now.
thought I was gonna
Wasn't
pass
funny at
out.
the time. Yeah, right. Okay, you want to get into some questions?
Yes.
Let's get into some
go.
questions. Okay, let's go. Linda Lee Shaw. She would like to know. She said, Melanie, my curls have gone since I had professionally colored my hair. She's upset. I've tried masks and extra conditioning. I used to have fat ringlets and no more. I'm so sad. Any suggestions? Got her hair colored, curls gone.
That's so weird. The only thing I can think of is whatever color they used was damaging to the hair rather than moisturizing and hydrating, so that the hair is now broken down and she's not getting that curl definition.
yeah.
So it just may take time to rehab them and get them back because we don't experience that. The curls look fabulous after we color the hair. In fact, we were just talking about how your hair feels better, but we use a non-ammonia hair color that's very gentle. It's organic. it's not as damaging. It's not stripping the hair down and roughening that cuticle like a lot of the different traditional hair colors do.
Sure.
So that's interesting because she's not using the words highlighting, too. If it's
No, she's not saying that.
Yeah, because
No.
if it's highlighted, it can really, damage that hair and then you lose your curl. It actually can elongate and, you don't get, because that hair it's damaged, so you don't get that nice curl formation.
Yeah.
So continue doing conditioning treatments. That's what I would recommend. And,
think so.
Get regular haircuts, unfortunately.
Okay. Good luck. Let's go to another one. Okay. Melissa Ciosio, she would like to know, Melanie, what are your thoughts on unicorn haircuts and cutting your own hair in general? What are your thoughts?
I think that's crazy. So I've seen.
You're going to get so many people are going to say, I cut my own bangs. I cut
Oh,
my
well,
own.
yeah. And then they come into the salon and have to get it fixed. I mean, not always, but I'm just saying, I see it all the time. People come in and, they see me looking at the hair going, I'm sure I must be making a puzzled face going, God, I hope I didn't do that, and then they have to admit, I cut my own bangs. I cut
Right.
my own hair.
Right, and you're like, no shit.
Yeah,
right? Really?
yeah,
Really?
yeah,
I wouldn't have guessed.
yeah. So, but some people, whatever, they're able to do it successfully, and the more power to you. But usually, it's a disaster or it doesn't work out so well. And this unicorn thing reminds me of years ago when a client told me she pulls her hair back in a ponytail and cuts it. I mean, that just doesn't work. That just doesn't work. It's going to be
how long does it take you to do a curly cut the way you do it?
2 hours.
Okay, so think of this. If you're going to just pull your hair over into a unicorn and go snip across and say, ta-da,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah. Like that's what
Kinda
we
different.
do when we cut hair for like locks of love, when we just pull the hair in a ponytail, whether it's in the front or the back, however you want to look at it,
Yeah.
and cut it. And then you have to do a real haircut because that doesn't work. It's going to be all uneven. It's, different lengths in the middle, on the sides. If you're happy with your hair that way, maybe the curls hide it. But,
I've seen a lot of videos. I've seen a lot of people post pictures on it. And I really don't get offended because I'm just being real. But I really believe that the people that do it, that come back and say, it's fabulous, I'm so happy, blah, 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 are the same people that I can look back in their posts, a couple of days, a week, or whatever. And the reason that they've done it is they're at a point in their life or a position in their lives where they just can't afford to get a professional haircut. So I really believe that. Don't get offended. I really believe that they're trying to convince themselves that it looks as good as a professional haircut.
Yeah.
No. Hey, and get it. If you watched last week's show, you got to hear. No, we know poor. We get it. We know not having the money to get stuff done, right. But at the same time, don't try to convince yourself that
it doesn't
that
compare.
doing something is going to compare to going to a professional salon. So
Yeah, it just doesn't. It just doesn't.
isn't.
And I mean, okay, so if they're doing that and taking the very, very, very ends of the hair off, maybe that's okay. But if you're like cutting any amount of hair, that's just not going to work. There's no haircut that, you can just take one little snip like that and you're done and it's fabulous. I'm sorry,
Well, remember when I was a teenager, we used to Flowbee,
Oh, we were just talking about a
Scott
Flowbee.
Schultz,
See, Julie,
Mike
I told you
Stein.
guys. I
We
told
had
you
it.
he used a
Mike-
Flowbee. There's a fun
Darn right.
fact. There is a fun fact.
We did. We went.
So
my friend
explain
Mike's
to
driveway.
Julie what it is because she couldn't
Okay.
understand and
A
why.
Flowbee, and the only one that was allowed to use it was Mike, because he was the only one.
Mike
who knew,
who?
Mike Stein. He was the only one who knew how to use it.
He was in charge.
He was in charge, right?
He was the Flowbee king.
Mike was the Flowbee king, and we would go in his driveway at his parents' house, and you know what it looks like? It looks like a vacuum cleaner hose with a vacuum cleaner attachment that had some kind of blades in it, and it sucked at the same time.
Does it look like how our clippers look with a guard
Yes, that's what it
attached to a vacuum hose?
attached to a vacuum hose. So that was at a period in all our lives, all us guys, where we were all pretty much
When you were
broke.
broke, you're doing
We were
like
broke.
the unicorn
Right.
haircut.
We were doing the unicorn haircuts in the driveway.
The Flowbee.
Mike was the Flowbee king, right? And I gotta admit, We didn't look good.
Don't say it looked good.
We didn't look good, but we had haircuts. Put it that way. We
Yeah.
all had the same exact
Oh,
look.
God.
Because it's all one length. It's all.
Are there different settings?
I don't remember. You'd have to ask Mike. I don't know.
Maybe there's
It
different
would not
attachments.
surprise me. Knowing Mike, it would not surprise.
Is he
he's
still
got
doing a
boys.
Flowbee haircut?
I'll bet you on his boys. I'll bet you in the driveway. Would not
Oh,
surprise
my
me one bit. Would
God.
not. I gotta look him up.
Oh,
Next
my
time we're in town, I
God.
gotta look him up. It would not surprise me one bit. I'll bet you if I sent
It
him a
just looks
message,
like a military
he'd
haircut.
send a picture. He'd send a picture of him doing his kids. It would not surprise me at all. Anyway, so
Nice.
those are the old days. All right, let's go on to the next one. This is from Shannon Paul. Melanie, does anyone get perms to help with their natural wave?
Yes, they do. We talked about this in a prior show. Oh, because somebody was asking about like perming one
Yeah,
strand
like a
of hair.
spot. Yeah, right. Wasn't getting
So,
curl.
yeah, I mean, you can. There are people, especially, we have a client in the salon that I can think of right off the top of my head. She actually scheduled to come in for a perm, and then believe it was Julie styled her hair curly because she never had before. She always blew it out straight.
Yeah.
And she just did a curly style on her. And we were like, oh my God, you don't need a perm. Why would you be getting a perm?
Right.
But
Didn't know she had them, eh?
well, yeah, but it wasn't as strong of a curl as she wanted. She wanted more curl. So then she jumped over into Terry's chair and Terry gave her a perm and she loved it. She ended up sending her sister to do the same thing. So yes.
How'd it look?
Great.
Really?
Yeah, it looked great.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So, of course, only certain hair types or textures would I do that on, and not super curly hair. I guess anybody could, but she had more fine and like wavy, swavy hair. So
Okay.
she wanted more curl.
She wanted more.
She wanted to have curl like mine.
Got it. Okay.
It turned out like Julie's.
Ooh,
No, we're kidding.
that's a
We
lot.
always tease
That's a
people.
lot.
We always tease people. Julie always does. I'm not the one saying it. She does. She says, your hair's going to look like mine when you leave.
Uh-huh. It's curly.
Yeah.
All right.
If she did the perm, it might. Sorry, Julie.
It might
She
be.
knows.
She knows.
She knows.
It's
not her strength.
Right. Not a very strong swimmer.
You're not a
right?
very strong
Strong swimmer.
permer.
Very strong
I had to
swimmer.
cut her off of that.
Right. Okay. Next one. Paula Kirsch. She has a question here. The hardest thing for all of us, or most of us, is finding a stylist who understands curls. Should we cut our own hair? Kind of a redundant question from before. I'm assuming the same answer. So maybe I'll reword her question a little bit for her. Lives in an area, can't find a stylist that understands curls. What the heck do I do?
Yeah, I never really would recommend someone to cut their own hair. I understand, sometimes you do or you have to. You can't get in to see someone. And it can, I always tell people I can fix anything. And that's pretty much true. Sometimes it takes, time to fix things, but I can pretty much fix anything. So, what would I recommend? Oh, geez,
Like Spicoli, right? My dad's got an awesome set of tools. I can fix anything.
Oh, I didn't remember that. Yeah, I've got an awesome set of tools. Yep, that's true. So that is a tough thing, she's absolutely right. There aren't many people who understand how to cut curly hair. That's been an ongoing issue. And that's why we're doing more training and we're continuing to try to, grow the educational system out there as far as teaching stylists, how to work with the curly hair. And so, they can try to join the group and get tips. But as far as actually cutting the hair, you can recommend the stylist get some additional training. The thing that the last kind of, I don't know how I want to state that, but, the only thing that someone who's not trained, could possibly do that would be okay is, at least cut the hair dry. They still won't really know the system because it's different. The techniques are different than just doing a dry haircut.
It took you years to learn all the different techniques, right? To
Yeah,
create the
yeah,
Raw
it
Curls cutting
did.
system.
It did, absolutely. And so, but if there's nothing else to recommend, at least maybe they can cut it dry so they can see where the curl is and not cut it too short.
Yeah. Think of this. Like I said at the beginning, Melanie graduated, from one of the top Aveda Institute, and then was mentored and trained by a U.S. national champion and British national hairdressing champion. And it still took her years of training to understand curls to be the stylist she is today. And
Yeah,
lots of
and
money
that's
to do it.
ongoing education,
Yeah.
and that's, different cutting systems, working with lots of curly hair, seeing what works, what doesn't work, improving and changing and, building on that education. So it's an ongoing process. And that's like that woman that jumped in at the show when we were doing that forum, remember, in
Oh,
Chicago? Yeah.
yeah.
And, this is advanced training. It's not just, just,
And this was a licensed stylist
yeah,
that
yeah.
stood in front of a top, curl panel and said, I know everything that I need to know. I learned in beauty school. And she had
Yeah.
just graduated.
Yeah. And so even I have other friends that are stylists and they don't have the specialty curly training. They say, I know how to cut curly hair. Well, I'm sure they can. I know they can cut curly hair, but it's not the specialty technique. So it's not the best haircuts.
It's not going to look the same.
It doesn't look the same. It's not doing the same thing. It's not benefiting the hair like it can because these are special, and I said this to my one friend. I'm like, well, did you go to, the Diva Academy weed at or Corlisto or Rock Curl, come to my account? No. Have you spent thousands of dollars and tons of all these hours and training? No, they haven't. So it's just not the same,
Yeah.
Everybody
like
thinks that now they can cut
Right.
curly hair and, they may have
Just
been
because
cutting
it's
curly hair.
the
Yeah.
new thing to them. That's
Yeah,
why they think
but
that.
it's not the special curly kind of cutting techniques
Right.
which truly make a difference.
Right.
They address the triangles. They don't cause more frizz in the hair. They get rid of the choppiness. You see those choppy shelves and the dangles that I call them, the jellyfish. So, and a lot of times that I'm fixing that stuff from someone who did a traditional haircut
Sure.
on curly hair. So,
Sure. It's kind of the example of, will a Toyota Corolla get you from point A to point B? Sure. But a Mercedes does it a whole lot different. So, hopefully that helps you out. Rhett, I'm gonna bounce. Given that question and that answer, I'm gonna bounce to the next question of Cassie Holland.
Okay.
Okay. Cassie Holland. This is a related question. You're gonna love how this goes.
oh.
Cassie Holland, do you have any stylists trained by you in the Northeast? Followed by Amy Guthman, any in Atlanta? Followed by Joyce Ferragasso in Philadelphia? Followed by Susie McDaniel in Oregon? Followed by Janice Lofgust Among in California? Followed by Diane Jennings. Will you come to SoCal? See, there you go.
I need to try. I need to get on the road.
We may do that next summer. We've had serious conversations about that. We may do a curl tour and stop in several cities and do one-day deals. We may do that. We may very well do that. So we'll keep you posted as the winter comes along. I know we're in July now, but we'll talk about that in the winter and see how that works. But we may do some traveling. We may hop in the RV and do some traveling again. And
We
I
don't
don't know.
have an RV. What RV are we hopping
we'll
in?
get another one. Those were fun days.
We sold that RV.
Those were fun days.
There's a fun fact. We had an RV and we sold it. So I don't know what RV we're hopping in. He's fantasizing
Let's
about the
go.
RV that you were driving for.
We might.
What's the,
Yeah,
the
$1 million.
what's the name of that family?
The Marks.
The Marks
Yeah.
family.
Really nice. Oh God.
Did you just snort?
On purpose.
You didn't do it on purpose.
I couldn't do it on accident if I tried.
You couldn't do it on purpose if you tried.
as I can.
Oh my God.
All right, let's go back to Sharon Innocente. What are the best products for covering gray? I'm 40% gray now, and I thought I would like it, but I feel like an old lady. I never dyed my hair before.
What are the best products she's asking?
Yeah, what are the best products for covering gray?
Okay.
She's 40% gray now. Feels like an old lady.
Yeah, I know the feeling. So, well, I love the non-ammonia hair colors.
Why?
So, why? Because they're gentler on the hair. They don't open and roughen the cuticle and break it down as much as traditional hair color, which blasts the cuticle open, and then it causes more damage. So better for curly hair. It's more gentle. You get more shine, more conditioning. The color lasts longer, and we get beautiful gray coverage. So my, two favorite lines that I work with the most is OA hair color and organic color systems. There's a few other ones that, I've used over the years, but those are my two current favorites.
Okay. Good gray coverage.
Excellent gray
Excellent.
coverage. Yeah.
Good.
Again, I was just doing some interviewing and talking with these girls, saying, it's a common question that I get all the time. Does the color cover gray? And I hardly have any clients that don't have gray hair. So yes, absolutely. I'm a board certified hair colorist. I couldn't use a hair color that doesn't cover gray. I would be broke. I wouldn't have a salon. It would be
Yeah,
unsuccessful.
especially where our salon is.
Yeah, I mean that's what I do all day. I don't do these fashion, fun colors. Julie does some, but I do.
I mean, you're not doing peacocks and
No,
no, none of that?
no, I am not.
No, so you're not cool and hip.
Nope, not at all.
Not at all.
Nope. I'm a nerd.
You're a nerd. All right.
But yeah, so definitely there's lots of wonderful hair colors, but my first choice is definitely non-ammonia. And there's lots of them out there now. There used to not be many choices, but there's lots of choices now. With just about every hair color company, they have a non-ammonia hair color line.
Right. Yeah.
Which
sure do.
what was
Wasn't
something
like back in the day.
what a surprise,
What a
Andre.
surprise.
What a surprise, Andre.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have time to get into that. We're gonna maybe when we get around the holidays and we have some time, maybe we'll have some shows where we break down some serious shizzle and tell you some real hardcore stories about stuff during our whole journey of 20 years. We got some unbelievable stuff, but it's fun stories to tell. Life's about good stories. I have good stories. I have long stories.
We don't have enough time for your stories.
All right, that's the thing. You want to do a couple Ask Me Anything
Sure.
questions back to back? Okay. Colleen Elizabeth. Melanie, where's a bucket list vacation you two dream of running off to?
Australia.
I would like to go to Maldives.
Where's that?
Maldives is those islands where the water is and the sand is it's perfectly clear, and they've got those like cabanas out on docks
I
out
thought
in
that
the
was
water. It's like Fiji,
Bali.
but
Fiji.
Maldives is where the water is really, really clear.
Yeah, that
Can
sounds
get
cool.
breezy there, but yeah, I'm into a lot of times on vacation. I like to just completely shut down, just because my days are just so long and they're like nonstop. There's always like stimulus, like always something, mind's always got to be going. So I really like the idea of just hanging out in those and like doing nothing.
Yeah,
Really
there's
cool.
so many places I could say because
Yeah.
we've never been to Europe. So,
No.
I want to go to Italy, to Spain, all these places. There's lots of them.
But we've been to Oklahoma. That's a song. Never
I don't
mind.
think I've been to Oklahoma.
Yeah, you have. We've
Driven through it,
We've
but we've
driven
not
through it.
gone there to vacation.
We stopped. We delivered some stuff there that I sold.
Mm.
We stopped in Tulsa. Okay. Next, here's an Ask Me Anything.
I'm
for
going
me.
to Arkansas. That's exciting.
Yeehaw. Have fun. Kristen Ann, Ken, did you completely cut sugar out post-cancer? I completely cut sugar out during all my cancer. One of the things that I think a lot of people don't realize is that,
Yeah, me too.
right, is that sugar
I don't eat sugar.
No, is that sugar feeds cancer cells, and you got to starve them. And so I cut out sugar. Now post cancer, now I'm 10 years out from my last bout of it. I have some occasionally, but what's really interesting, like every once in a while, like she'll open a box like this, and I'll have like one or two. But it's kind of one of those things
And I
where
have
the
3 or
rest,
400.
the rest, boxes, bags. What's interesting about that is, um, it's almost like because I cut it off, back then, is that like my mind for some reason, my subconscious, I'll want one, like I'll see the M&M like, oh, or there'll be dessert, if like she'll get a dessert, we'll split it, and I'll have like a couple of scoops of it. I'm like, I'm done, like it's just it's not as enjoyable as it used to be. So I cut it out when right when I got sick and trying to starve, and that's another thing I'll talk about when I do those Q&A shows, when I do the green juice launch, is about how they made those chemo bombs for me in Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
And sugar. How many I've had people say that's not true about the sugar feeding cancer. I'll tell you tell
Really?
you guys some stories. Oh,
That's like a basic known
amazing.
fact.
Right.
Who says it's not true?
I don't know, dumb people. They find me. They all find me. Okay, all right, let's go on to some other questions.
I've actually cut way back. I don't have that much sugar anymore. I really don't.
Yeah, once in a while. Okay, Kathy Freza. What products did Melanie use in her hair before Raw Curls was developed? What'd you use?
Oh, wow. That's a good question.
That's a really good question.
I don't think
we've ever
anyone's
had that.
asked me that. Yeah. Oh, well, geez, how far back do we want to go? I mean, talk about, people talk about being broke and on a budget. I remember using Suave, I grew up very, poor, and I lived on my own since I was 18. So I was one of those, that didn't have the funds for fancy haircuts and all that. But let's see. Then I've used Aveda, and I would say the last one that I was using before Raw Curls was Purology and the Organic Color Systems, if I remember correctly.
It would have been Purology.
I think Purology.
Yeah, because I cleaned out our storage unit a couple of months ago, and I found old liter bottles of it still still in storage.
Yeah. I didn't use curl specific products back then.
I don't know how many there even were back in those days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there was some. There was some around, but I wasn't using them.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another good one. This is from Megan Nelson. What's the best way to cut curls? Wet or dry?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
Okay.
So there's different.
Do I have time for a nap?
No, because I'm answering the question, not you. Okay, so there's basically 2 curly cutting systems out there. There's the belief of cutting curls wet. There's the belief of cutting curls dry. And I have actually taken both of those systems and married them together, which had never been done before. It was always one way or the other, and they did not agree, with.
And the camps hated each other. The dry people hated the wet cut people.
Yeah, there was no crossing the lines there. So, but I just don't believe in that, whether it's for curly hair or regular hair. I always feel that you need to keep your options open and do what's best for the hair. So the problem with that is, it's not always one size fits all. And so I found that there was things when I was cutting the hair dry only that weren't working. There was just situations where I see the hair and I'm like, that's better, but it's not. I don't love it. There's still some problem areas. And so then, learning how to cut the curls properly wet, there's proper ways of cutting the curls wet, that there is a system that works for that. So, there's things from that system that are for specific problems that I find are really fantastic. So I find that it makes sense that using the best of, addressing the situation and customizing to what the customer or the client's hair's needs are, sometimes I will cut the hair completely dry, or sometimes, pretty rarely do I cut it all wet. There's usually always a portion of it that I do dry. So,
Mm-hmm.
combining those two techniques is what I find is best for most people, because it makes sense to cut the curls dry where they live. That totally makes sense. But then, like I say, there's some things that you need to do for certain people and situations going on with the curls that you just can't achieve it on dry hair. You just can't do it. So then, doing those things wet is what is best. So I believe in both.
Believe in both. Believe
Hmm.
in both.
There's different things for different things.
Yeah.
Just like we have different tools for, different techniques.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Let's do a couple, since we're getting to the end of the show, let's do a couple of quick ones that are quick and easier to answer. Let's see. I can answer this one. This is from Jennifer Barnes. I use Frizz Ease and Weedad. Are they Curly Girl approved? Some Weedad products, yes. Some, no. Frizz Eases, I don't know.
It has
I'm
a
not
lot.
sure.
The Frizzies has it's tons of
Is
silicone. I
that
can tell you
cones?
that.
Okay.
Tons of
So
silicone.
no. So Frizzies, no. Frizz Easies. I pronounce it wrong. No. And Weedad, some yes, some no. Got to learn to read labels. Let's do the next one. Stephanie Stunts. Melanie, what is the worst ingredient to use on curly hair and why?
Just one.
Just one, she said.
Well, that I would say, I would have to choose between sulfates or silicone. So that's a hard one. It's going to be one of those two, sulfates or silicone, because the sulfates are going to strip the hair. They strip the moisture from the hair, so they're going to dry it out. They're going to break, the hair down, which, dehydrated hair is going to be frizzy. And the silicones kind of do the same thing in the long run. They coat the hair at the beginning, so it may look smooth and shiny and control the frizz, because silicone is good. It's an anti-humectant. It's an anti-frizz ingredient. It's good for that. But it's coating the hair, so in the long run, it's not allowing the moisture to penetrate, which the curls need moisture. So again, in the long run, it dehydrates the hair, which causes frizz.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Again, we'll just go through a couple of ones that are quicker. Jennifer Barnes says, she has a statement. Melanie and Ken, I believe a lot of money could be made if someone opens a chain store like Ulta, but for curly hair. Please, someone do it. Don't think I haven't thought of it. Don't think I haven't. There is so much in this category that, trust me, we've thought of, we've talked about. It really boils down to two things for us. One, time. We've got a lot. We've got what, 5 or 6 brands now. Plus we've got the salon. We might open another salon. We've got plans for our podcasting, that we're doing now in the studio, and shows. We talked about traveling. It's just a matter. It's time. Time is the biggest thing, and then the other thing is, because we develop so many products and whatever, it boils down to money. Got to have a lot of money to set aside, and developing and creating products. I think a lot of people, if you've watched this show from the beginning, you've heard me talk about it. It's expensive. It is really. It's astronomically expensive. I've got a woman recently that I've been talking to in the curl groups, and she really thought, and she asked for some advice, and I gave it to her, and she really thought that she could create a 4-product curly hair product line for $10,000. You can't create one product for $10,000. You can't manufacture one product for $10,000. You can't.
Depends on the kind of product, but that's
you can't create it.
No,
there's no way.
Well, if she created it herself in the kitchen, but that's not a professional product,
and you never get it to market.
Right.
That's the problem. But it's anyway. It's so for us, it just boils down to we've got lots of ideas and it's lots of stuff that we could really execute on. But it's just a matter, of time. It's how much time, how much time do you know? I know a lot of you guys follow me on my personal page and stuff and whatever, and you see what my days are like. I mean, it's, I've been real open about that, I can't tell you how many people are like, Ken, why are you answering questions at 1 a.m? I know it's 1 o'clock Eastern. What are you doing? I'm like, well, they're there, So yeah, that's really what it boils down to. Let's go to another one. Okay. Kylie Smith. Is it okay to use some medium heat when diffusing, or just an absolute no-no?
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Medium heat?
Yep, not a problem.
Okay. Here's another good one. Gracie Gerke. How do I distribute product to the back crown area? I screw it up every time. I end up with party in the front and rat's nest in the back. This question I saw posted on Facebook had about 20 likes. So she's not the only one who's got party in the front and rat's. You want to talk about party in the front? I had the other way around. Anyway.
What did you have?
Business in the front, party in the back.
Oh, yeah, the mullet. Like Dumb and Dumber. That's what it's from, right?
It was way cooler than that.
Dumb and Dumber.
No, it was cool back then.
It was really dumb.
Dude. Anyway.
Okay, so...
Chicks dig it. Mullets? I'm telling you, they do.
Yeah, they were banging down your door for that.
Right.
So let's see. Well, how can we address getting the product in the back?
Yeah, to the back.
I don't.
Hard to do it because you can't see it.
Yeah,
especially if you got a lot.
I'm just trying to think of what the problem, because that area I think is really reachable. So I'm trying to picture in my head what the issue is. So maybe some people like to apply their product upside down. If you flip your head over, try that. Maybe that would help. But we suggest people apply their product in sections. So I don't know if that's being done. You can try that. So get like some kind of a duckbill clip. And now they have those ones. They're really, really great. I wish I had an example, but it looks like a crocodile's mouth, and they can really hold a lot of thick and even long hair.
Not an alligator?
Yeah.
How do you know the difference?
Because the crocodile opens their mouth further.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
So
because a crocodile will see you after a while, right?
Whatever.
Alligator will see you later.
Oh God, you're so funny.
I'm punny.
So yeah, maybe try that, because then, but you should definitely be able to reach that area in the back. So try to reverse it. Maybe try applying your product on top instead of from bottom up. Try applying it from top to bottom. See if that helps. I don't know. I've never had a problem with that. So that's an interesting question that so many people, I didn't realize people are struggling with it.
Yeah. I could see, depending on your arms.
If you have short arms.
Or you're ripped up like I am. It's hard to reach.
Oh, please.
It's hard to reach back there. It's biceps get in the way.
Yeah. Such a problem.
Do you want me to show you?
No. We don't need to see.
Oh, man.
I'm just trying to think of things that maybe could help, but even tilting the head from side to side, if you tilt the head sideways and then you're applying that product there, getting it from root to end, flipping it over, but try, there's different ways that you can do it. And I know somebody asked me to shoot a video of me applying gel, but that's different because I'm standing behind somebody applying it. So
yeah,
I've just not really had that issue. So that's kind of surprising to me.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about that.
Let's do one more question, and then we're going to wrap it up. We're going to wrap it up. One more question, and this is a combination curl question and a combination fun fact, ask me anything. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Colleen Elizabeth would like to know, this is for Melanie. When was the last time, if ever, she straightened those beautiful curls?
Oh. Let's see. I actually can tell you. I don't know the year, but I was working at Suzanne's and Jennifer blew my hair out. Remember? I have pictures of that. So that was within...
It rings a bell, but I don't... So your hair wouldn't have been as long as it is now?
It was long.
Was it?
Yeah, it was long. And we were friends with Roy because I sent him those pictures. That was after we did the hair show with Roy and Suzanne.
So it's got to be 5 years. It's got to be 5 years.
Yeah. Well, I've had this location for 2.5 years. So yeah,
probably 5 years. Yeah.
And before that, it had been a really long time too. So, but I would say about 5 years ago, one of the girls that I worked with, she was like the blow dry queen. And so I don't know why. I guess I had time or something. I don't know why I had her blow my hair out, but
You know the old saying of, idle hands are tools of the devil. When you're in the salon industry, yeah, stylists without clients are tools of the devil when they start working on each other.
yeah.
That's when the stupid stuff happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's try this. Let's try
do
that.
it. Yeah,
Let's just
have
do it.
fun. So yeah, that was the last time. It looks. I always say I look ridiculous with my hair blown out. The hair looks pretty itself, but it just doesn't look right on me.
Is it the long face?
Yep, I look like a horse.
All right. Okay. All right. Let's wrap it up. That's the end of that's the end of the Curly Q&A number 79. So
Awesome.
we'll see you
Thank
next
you
week.
guys for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. We won't have an Ask Me Anything next show.
Okay.
But we'll see you next
Have
week.
a good curly week.
Yeah. If you're on Instagram, watch for the posts to come up where you can ask your questions. And there were probably 30 or 35 questions this week just through Instagram. I didn't get to. We just didn't have time for them. But same thing, Curly Girl Support Group, and you'll see the post for questions then. So anyway, all right, we'll see you guys next week. Next week, Monday, 7:30 Eastern time, just like usual. See ya.
Bye.